Welcome to this episode of Sunny Silver Linings. Today's guest is Daniel Wang, CEO of MSP Bots. In today's episode, they chat about how MSPs can leverage BI and automation to help train employees, how having an automation mindset and using it for competitive advantage can be helpful for your MSP, and so much more. And now, your host, the founder and CEO of IT by Design, Mr. Sunny Kaila. Over to you, Sunny.
Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
But I want to start with your journey, man. You have a great story, like that American dream story that I normally share, like how I came to this country, started my business and scaled business. And, it's, so much respect for this entrepreneurial spirit that we feel here, we see here, and we're living that. And you are doing the same thing. I mean, you have this very similar journey. So can you share that with us a little bit? Let's start there.
Yeah, it was definitely the hell of the journey there, right? So I grown up actually in China in the Cultural Revolution time, right? So it's kind of like it was really crazy time. Think about the North Korea today. That's exactly the environment I grown up, right? It's so funny. We're like get trended. We needed to go save the world because they all suffering. That's what the propaganda was going on. So I went to the medical school after the open, trained to be a dentist, but I fall in love with the computer, came here to the US 21 years ago, barely speak English, right? Cannot find the job, has to ends up to fix computer for other people, then eventually started my own MSP, become the angel investor, and then started now this 4 years, right, in this software journey. It was, it's a pretty interesting one, but it's all ends up pretty well.
Yeah, well, as long as you're having fun, right? So, yeah, I think another thing that we have in common is we both started as MSPs. And so you're a former MSP owner, so you have that ecosystem experience, understand pain of MSP owners, understand what they go through because we lived that life. When you said earlier, when we were kind of on, before this call, that leaders can use BI and automation to save a lot of their time, to use that time to work on the business rather than working in the business. So let's talk about that a little bit. What do you mean by this, and what can MSPs do to implement that?
Yeah, so the MSP bots really come from actually kind of like a painful experience growing my MSPs, right?
Yeah.
So I started the MSP bot like 14 years ago. We were growing pretty fast, right? In 7 years, I think we reached to the 1.7 million. So every year, 20, 30, some year, 40% increase. So it was pretty awesome. But one biggest challenge for me, I'm a problem solver in my whole life, right? I love solve problems. Sometimes problem get me excited. Oh, server's down. Oh, yes,
That's
bring it on.
entrepreneurship.
Let's save it. Yeah. But then the later part, like, oh my God, right? Server down again, right? It just because of some technician didn't follow the company policy, right? So I started to get to the point by the end of my MSP time, I hated every day, people making the same mistake over and over and over because somebody didn't follow the policy or wasn't trained to follow the policy. That's why I left, did like a 3-year angel investing, semi-retirement, 4-hour week, work week, right? So it was awesome. And I also learned a lot how to use the AI, the big data. The software is changing the world, right? We're in the IT. Literally, we're helping other businesses deploy the software. The only reason the IT guy exists because there's software there. So there's so many software companies to do that. So that's what I learned to say, how can we use the data and the process automation and AI, which many software companies change the other industry. But interestingly, there's not much innovation in the MSP side, right? We still do a lot of mundane, repetitive tasks every day. We try to train the people over and over and over manually. So end of the day, my business, my peer group, we all stuck in doing the same, right?
Yeah.
Chasing the timing trade, ticket, utilization, every single day, every single week, right? Same stuff. Then all the time are buried in those mundane repetitive tasks instead of say how we can learn the new technology, deploy better process, coaching people, mentor, which is I love about IT by design, right? Focus on the people side, how we can make the employees better. So that's where come out of this idea, use micro training bots, right? Mimic what the service manager is doing based on, collect the data, make the decision in split seconds to say, hey, something's going on, quickly give you the visibility. So something's happening and real time instead of use a human to train, which is really, we don't have time to train every single one, every single minute, but the bots can do that, right? So eventually also hold people accountable, which is where collaborating with the team GPS, right? We give the people the reward for them doing the awesome job by team GPS. Yeah. And the bots tell them, hey, something you should aware, right? So a lot of those management tasks, oh, I need to click some of the software, find a certain report, drill through, oh, Daniel did something or didn't do something, caused the trouble, right? Those things we can all automate it, find the problem for you automatically, remind the employee automatically in real time, and give employee training in real time, 24/7, which is a super powered, mission impossible for any service manager or any manager in real life, because you're never going to have a service manager work 24/7, scan every single time entry, ticket, server, workstation, 24/7.
Yeah. And even if they're willing to work 24/7, Daniel, it's not good for us, not good for them.
Exactly.
It impacts human beings very negatively. So that balance is important, right? And Absolutely. So let's talk about this a little bit, because it's a very interesting thing. So let's say I'm a service manager. And so what I heard you say is that you can help me train my people better. You can help me have them kind of perform better, because now the training, well-trained people are normally better performers. So help me understand by taking an example or so. Just, like if I am a service manager at MSP, how can I leverage BI and automation to train my people better? And what benefits you shared earlier? Can you give me something that I can take away from here and implement on day one?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, the MSPbots is really a platform that can help every management team, right? And down the road, we actually have help every single employees. Yeah. But right now, most of the company using it for the service management. It's only because, right, the MSP, any MSP, majority of the employees are in the service department, right? So it's always much valuable if you deploy the automation with the most amount of people, right? So give you a couple of examples. Typically a service manager, mainly they're managing the ticket and the time entry, right? That's the a majority of their management. Hey, from a ticket being created to ticket being closed, it's a ticket life cycle, right? Why this new ticket nobody's taking care of? Or this ticket been waiting for the client for 30 days, why nobody taking the action? Or this ticket is closed, why is not attached to agreement, where there's no configuration, why the type still is called a master change, right? After the ticket is already closed. Then the time entry, right? Why this time entry is late? Why this time entry is not included next step, right? Why this time entry is not attached to a agreement, right? Why by the end of the day, you worked 8 hours, utilization only 23%. Is on and on and on. We have actually about 15 bots to check everything, check 15 things about the time entry, right? Or this time entry is after hour. Why you didn't mark the time entry as after hour, which we're supposed to charge people twice, double the charge because it's after hour one, right? All those kind of stuff. So what we do is we pull the record real time, from ConnectWise, Optask, Control. As a matter of fact, we have 50 other integrations. So this is just one example. Every time entry, we run through those 15 bots, right? Then real time, no matter it's a 3 a.m. in the morning, Saturday afternoon, July 4th, that virtual manager is checking every single time entry in real time for those 15 cents if you want to, and find the so-called violation of the policy, right? Immediately send a message so the teams at the private message provide the what happened, why it's important, and how they should do it, right? So that's just one thing. But then the employee immediately get a reminder something they didn't do, and immediately provided the 2-3 minutes training what they should do, right, and why they should do it, right? Yeah. So we say it's a really powerful 50-60% of your engaged employee, almost like you spend 15 minutes to training, deploy the bots, then you just see their number of the mistakes going down automatically.
Wow.
Right.
So this is more like having another person helping a service manager to review the tickets, to see if there's something that's an opportunity, not only the opportunity identification, but then also helping them to kind of overcome any kind of obstacle, any kind of challenge, any kind of mistake that they're making. And then, so it's like a big help for a service manager.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of clients, they come back, says this is a game changer, right? This is I get my Superman, service manager. Because reality is service manager just never can check every single time entry. They sample the couple of time entry by the end of the week. That's a good service manager, right? Some service manager never check the time entry for months. They're just too busy, no time. And also, right, this is really, this is not only just the time entry, right? We have more than 50 integrations. We release one new integration per week speed, right? So it's basically, we mimic, if any time we're looking for those mundane repetitive tasks, right? Anytime a manager, service manager, sales manager, whatever manager, project manager, so think about how their day look like. They click some report, they drill down. Oh, Daniel didn't do the time entry correctly. Oh, that ticket happened. Oh, that server is not patched for more than 2 weeks. Oh, this is a backup didn't happen for 3 days. Oh, that invoice is not paid after 2 months. Right? In today's world, we all use software to find the information, but they have to log in each different software, go through each different report. Honestly, some report sucks, right? It has hard to find the information. But finally, they find that, and then they say, okay, it depends on you work remotely, you chat with people, you call people, or if you're in the office, you work to the employee, try to help that employee do a good job. We pretty much can automate all of those. Then give the employee first a 7-8 chance by bots to say, hey, you got a chance, opportunity to fix it by yourself. Before we started waving, the bots started using Teams to notify manager or manager's manager. We use Microsoft Active Directory to find out who's the manager for that person. Then we started escalating, right? Hey, bots training is not working. Now we need the manager, the human touch to talk with the employee. What's going on? It's too busy, overwhelmed, or maybe we all have those not engaged employees. You need to coach in, turn around, or let them go, right? Whatever the decision.
So it seems like it also covers that compliance side, right? The QA side. That exactly. I see that a lot of service managers, they spend a lot of their own time to QA tickets, or they will have teams to do QA. So it covers that piece. Now let's go to let's move on to another major thing that you shared with me, that was one of the problem is getting accurate data in a dashboard or report, and then making timely decision based on the accuracy of the data, and then taking action. So BI and automation in general can be leveraged in an MSP setup to drive that action, right? So doing things better, faster, more efficient, And when we talk about service transformation, so your tool, BI automation, your tool can help that as well. So can you talk to me a little bit more about that? Like how, like in this case, let's stick with the example of a service manager. How service managers can leverage BI and automation to gain data insights quickly, and then drive that action in a timely manner.
Yeah, so there's a, BI is called business intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So our hypothesis, not hypothesis, the fact is every single employee make mistakes,
Yeah.
cutting corners, right? Including myself, right? We're all human, we all make mistakes, and those mistakes has consequences, right? You cost typically the management's time, energy, emotion. Sometimes you lose money because the employee mistake too much or too big, we lost client.
Liability, yeah.
Right. So either liabilities, all that stuff. So the BI section is how we can quickly gather as much data as fast as possible without any limitation, give you tons of a presentation to be able to quickly find the problem. That's step one. If you cannot find the problem, you cannot solve the problem, right? So what's the logic to find the problem? So there's many software in the industry, right? Power BI, everybody has access. There are a couple of commercial available. I'm not going to name names, but everybody have their wish list that says, I wish, right? They have a more integration. They have a more data set. They support a more sophisticated, like a Java, Python algorithm, right? There's no limitation how long I can keep the data, right? There's a more sophisticated way to aggregate the data or more visualization to present the data. So we talked with hundreds of MSPs to say, what's your pinpoint to say what prevents you to get the faster, quickly find the data necessary, give that red, yellow, green, right? Ends up we believe, and many of our clients believe, we're the best BI system for the MSPs. It's built by MSP for the MSP using all the modern technology. There's no limitation for how much data you can pull, how sophisticated algorithm, what's the way you want to present it, who you want to present to. Then once we get that first step one, we get a lot of MSPs coming to us, vendors, right? Working with us. We have more than 50 and one vendors per week. We're working together to pull the data, aggregate data, right? Then we can send those data. Once you say, yes, that visualization is correct, the problem is right on the TV, then we feed those data into the bots, instantly take actions to help the employees, managers do the job. Right now, it's more like a training, but in the Q4, we can create the ticket, open the ticket, reboot the server, create a QuickBooks journal entry, open your garage door, turn on the lights, right? It's almost the possibility is limitless, right? But it takes a lot of hard work. So that's why we want to really work with MSPs. What are the things you want to automate? What are the data you want to pull? So far, we're pretty much can make it happen. It just, all the hard work you need to put in, in the next couple of years.
No, automation is big. Overall data analytics, every industry. So I just came back yesterday from Enable Explore conference in Vegas. And so on my flight back home to New Jersey, so the person who was sitting right next to me, he's into more analytics and BI automation, coincident. And I'm like, what do you do? And this guy, so they have built a company like close to $1 billion valuation on just having helping companies, healthcare companies figure out stuff that they need to figure out using BI, the business intelligence and analytics tools. So the majority of the business in terms of digital age or digital transformation journey that they're going through, they do need access to these type of tools where they can empower them to make timely decisions. So it's not only limited to the point that I'm making is it was a really, really eye-opening conversation what they are doing in the healthcare industry that, millions and millions of dollars are being spent on automation and on gathering intelligence and making, transforming companies for this digital transformation journey that they're going through. Now, but everything starts with a mindset. And so I know you talk about that, and I want you to elaborate on what do you mean by, when you talk about having an automation mindset and having that as your competitive advantage.
Yeah, you're absolutely right? This is as my journey I mentioned earlier, I get so frustrated with my MSP. I was like, oh my God, this is whack-a-mole, sucker punch all day long, right? I hate to solve those. I went to the 3 years, semi-retirement, but I spent a lot of time, with angel investor group. I invested about like 26, 27 startup companies. So I got the same kind of a conversation. Many of them grown actually pretty big. Same kind of, the final conclusion after all those years of reading, meeting with other investors, I met with more than 200 startups here in Chicago, right? In order to invest at 26. So it's come to the conclusion, exactly you said, we're creating this whole digital age. This is the transformation about data is new oil, right? So every industry, I don't care what you do, you're a truck driver, you're a cashier, you're answer the telephone, you're a doctor, you're a CPA, you're a CEO, you cannot survive the new digital world without have automation in the mindset, right? Look at Tesla, what Tesla is doing, right? Is automating the Uber driver, truck drivers, right? That's it. So I look at the medical AI, the CPA, accounting AI, it's everywhere, right? Everything, even if you want to flip the burger, right? There's the robots already doing that, right? So this is what I say, the surprisingly IT industry, we're one helping other people to automate their business, right? Duh, that's every day. But somehow we're not spending a lot of, we're not seeing a lot of innovation. There are a couple of them there now, which is really good. So that's why I say my belief system is whoever embrace, right, this data strategy, right, utilize your data, use the data-driven decision-making instead of a guts feeling, or I feel like that technician is a slacker. Instead of here's a dashboard says you are the ranked 23 percentile all over the world. We actually have those report, right? As a technician, this benchmark compared to all the MSPs, hundreds MSPs using MSP bots, you're at the 23 percentile, which means that you're a pretty bad technician, honestly, right? So those kind of stuff, anybody use data-driven decision-making and use the automation will win. Just like, company who embraced the internet, right, 20 years ago, thrive and go big. And I talked with a lot of bigger companies. Typically, when the company get to the 50, 60 people, they all have a data analyst there.
Absolutely.
Right? So, because that's the only way you can actually have the control. And the people who, also you can reverse as people who actually embrace the data analyst, right, using the data-driven, they grown bigger. So which one is the cause and reaction, right? Or because they're bigger, they need a data analyst, or because they utilize data analysts, then become bigger. So that's my fundamental belief system. I don't care which industry you are, next 20, 30 years, whoever embrace the digital, this digital twin, right? Using the data to drive the decision, use automation, right? Because whenever any process you can automate, it's 1,000 times, not like 20% time better. It's 1,000 times better, right? From the responsibility, response time, from the speed, the accuracy, availability, scalability. It's just like every single angle you look at it, it's 1,000 times better. How can you compete? Let's say you're the MSP. You say, I'm very happy with my business. I'm making money. I take a vacation every year. Awesome. But your competitors in your same market is embracing the digital. Suddenly they have 100,000 times better productivity. How can you survive?
Better margins, better profit, right?
Everything.
Because
when I go to customer service.
Yeah, when I go to these channel events, Daniel, people talk about their struggles with profitability, are growing with profitability just because of the cost of labor, cost of not having an operation which is mature enough to use automation and reduce their labor cost. And so inflation, everything, salaries going up, many times in the last 2-3 years. Transformation will be there. You get on board right now, or you get on board later. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of when, not a matter of if you will do it, because in a digital world, you need to be able to transform your business, because in the last 2-3 years, that digital transformation journey accelerated, because from dental offices to any business out there, even a small business, even these retail stores, they had to pivot and they had to adopt technology a lot more as a small business. And they do need that digital transformation and the automation when they're now using that technology. And one example that I always share, because I was a New York City taxi driver before I started my taxi to tech journey. In New York City, if you remember the New York City yellow cab, and New York City yellow cab used to be, when I moved to this country in 1993 for the first time, and then so I became a taxi driver in the next few years before I completed my computer engineering. But at that time, you could see taxi New York City yellow cab in almost every block in Manhattan. Now, if I go to Manhattan, I don't see that much. I see Ubers, I see Lyft, I see everything. But the point that I'm making is that no one knew Uber. This company, a technology company, without even owning one single yellow cab medallion, which used to be very expensive, now it's no value. Without owning a medallion, without owning a taxi, they kind of they have taken that market share that no one imagined in New York City. Now, and they made the whole taxi business irrelevant. So the point is, if you don't get on board right now, you're not leveraging technology, you are not transforming your business by leveraging automation and business intelligence, you will be irrelevant very soon. And people, where they adopt this early, they're going to be more profitable. They're going to be able to scale very efficiently. They will be able to create value for themselves and their teams and their clients, and a lot more valuable, a lot more attractive business, because business is growing and making money. And if you don't do that, you will be that New York City taxi business where, someone going to come in and replace you. And I really, appreciate what you're doing in the channel. And any last thought, Daniel?
Yeah, I think this is we covered a lot, right? I'm super excited. I feel like I'm living the dreams every day, even though I'm working 100 hours a week, right? Putting a lot of time, money there. I don't have an investor. So this is my own, really the passion journey, working with other startups. I see, the human civilization as a Homo sapiens, we're like 100,000 years, right? But if you really look in the 100,000 years history, we're accelerating, right? The first 9,000 years, nothing really changed. The last 10,000 years, right? From the 1,000 years ago to 100 years ago, some kind of change, right? And we're accelerating. Next 10 years, the change probably going to be more than last 100 years change.
Yeah.
Right. So this is super accelerating there. So I think, it's a super clear. Anybody embrace this will be in the winning side, right? Yeah. And you're going to force the drag into the one, just like the website, right? 20 years ago, you said, oh, I have a website. What is website, right? Today, how can you operate a business without a website, right? Yeah. So it's really become the necessary. And, like we call it next ticket automatic dispatcher, right? We can save the 80% of that human beings' work, do 100 times better job, right? So it's not like 100% better. It's 100 times better job and proven in everything. How can you compete, right? in those situations. So I think, right, this every day, we have about 90 people now, and we hire, 2 more almost every week, right? It's just like a super exciting, well, a little bit chaotic sometimes with that fast growth. But I'm really looking forward to work with MSPs because it was such a painful experience I had before. And also, I still have friends, right? They're been in the business for 20 years. They still have 5, 6 employees, right? They're very driven. They work hard. They want to do good, but they keep hitting the ceiling there. They cannot grow. I think it's my mission there and really the passion to say if we can have this automation, which we learned from the best companies, convert what they're looking for into the BI and the bots to share with everybody, right? We call, our motto is, hey, if we develop the bots or the dashboard for the company, we share with all the community. So it's become the by the MSP and for the MSP. Really, long-term vision, we should be able to use MSP Bots as a platform to lift whole MSP industry, right? It sounds like a big word, really. Yeah, right. Who are you? But we already see, people say other companies, what their dashboard, what their bots, then take it and modify it, bam, they start deploy the automation just like that, right? This is super powerful. It's super exciting journey.
Yeah, you're doing great work. And at IT by Design, my team is very excited about working with you, especially Vikram from Team GPS integration that we're doing to help MSPs, gain insights in a timely manner about their culture, their people, and helping them, build stronger culture with this integration that we're doing, Team GPS and MSP Bots, and help them understand overall the relationship with the performance management side, because that's another module of Team GPS, and everyone's alignment with the business strategy by giving them data on their fingertips. And so go ahead.
Yeah, just mentioned that we had a weekly meeting for a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I love it. It suddenly come out of my mind. MSP bots is a stick. Said, hey Daniel, you did this wrong. Go fix it. Daniel, you did that wrong. Go fix it. Yeah. And Team GPS is the carrot. Hey Daniel, you did an awesome job. Here's some reward.
Yeah.
Right. We were super excited working with Vikram to say, hey, it's a perfect match. Actually, today we said we're going to deploy the Team GPS inside our company. Because like I said, a lot of you guys' philosophy is super aligned with what I believe. We need to give the employee a platform, let them grow with the company, right? Or I would say the only way company can grow is employees growing, right? So I said, Team GPS, MSP bots, we can supply tons of data. We on the stick side keep saying, hey, you did something wrong. You violated this policy. And Team GPS said, hey, Team GPS said, you did an awesome job. Here's some reward.
It's a positive reinforcement. That is what Team GPS does, right? So with the positive focus, drive accountability. And no, we really appreciate your partnership, Daniel. And so it's really, really important, my MSP friends, that we adopt all the technology that we have available to us to make our teams more efficient, empower our leadership team, to management team, to our engineers, where they can leverage automation, they can leverage this technology to be more efficient. Efficient people means efficient business, and efficient business will always scale with that efficiency, scale with the profitability, and that is the game that entrepreneurs are playing. Entrepreneurs' number one job is to take an asset and make that asset more valuable. And the only way you can do it is by having business intelligence and having automation and taking that competitive advantage as well, and not being irrelevant as a technology company, because there are so many examples out there where those companies became irrelevant because they did not think of future where things are going, and we don't want to be those companies. So let's look at how we can use business intelligence and automation in our businesses and be more efficient entrepreneurs. Thank you so much, Daniel. We appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you. you.